Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tammy Helmuth. I'm the CEO for Girl Scouts of California Central Coast, and welcome to Volunteer Expo 2020. This here session is going to present to you the camp guidelines. Now, the camp guidelines were created and approved by the Membership Connection Committee, and that is a committee comprised of volunteers that speaks on behalf of service units. And they help review these camp guidelines from a volunteer's point of view. And it gets written in collaboration with staff, and then it goes to the board of directors for approval, and it is my job to implement them. There are things that you may not like in these camp guidelines, and that's okay. That's how we evolve these type of things. But please just shoot me an email. Let me know what you don't like and possibly what alternatives you have out there for us to take a look at. And we will work with the MCC to take a review and potential implementation of that advice. So let's get started. Today we are going to talk about all these topics: recruiting and training volunteers, registering campers, creating health and safety plans, managing finances, post-camp record keeping, council crisis communication plan, camp evaluations. We're going to go over those. But some of the items that we're going to reference and just kind of quickly touch on are going to be the safety activity checkpoints, the volunteer essentials, the money earning guidelines, and troop group banking policies and procedures. Those are hyperlinks there, so you need to kind of get familiar with at least the leadership of the camp, so you stay within those guidelines. Important dates. We need to know if you're going to, or at least your intent is to going to hold a camp. We'd like to have that back by January 15th, 2021, along with the proposed budget. Remember, the budgets are always a moving target, but just want to see what a break even at 75% capacity would look like. To get your event on our calendar for marketing, we can't just pivot super quick if you want us to market today for an event next month. We actually have a full calendar. Marketing promotion is they're absolutely amazing, but they do go through that calendar so they can plan out and everything. Get your request form into us. Contracts, I want to say, I'm the only one allowed to enter into any type of contracts. If you would, please don't put your name on that bottom line. It has some fiduciary liabilities for you. So don't be caught having to pay something that we may have canceled. Obviously, we can take a look back at this year where we canceled COVID. Let me sign those documents. I'm fully insured with regards to do so. Insurance forms, we know that all camp volunteers must be registered with background checks. We did hear you loud and clear, so we made some adjustments with episodic volunteers. We're going to talk about that. Action plan and day camp risk manual. We are going to ask that you have a risk management plan. Okay, there's no doubt we're going to also follow up with a communication crisis plan. Knowing with COVID's implementation, and also we should have a risk management plan dealing with all of the fires that are coming across our council. It appears every year. So we're going to tighten up the requirements of that, making sure that we support you in creating one and that we both continue to refer back and forth to it. Okay. Last year, we agreed to have a council-wide refund policy. Thank goodness that occurred. I guess good or bad. As COVID came to us, we ended up having to refund all of that registration. And it was nice that we had a complete, comprehensive refund policy for all of our camps. So we're going to maintain that again. There are the pieces of the council-wide policy that you helped create last year at our service unit camp gathering. Again, the refund policy is there. I'm not going to go through it. The discount policy, at last year, we could not agree to create a council-wide discount policy. All of the camps are completely different. And so at that time last year, we had agreed that we would revisit this year and potentially look at a discount policy. Unfortunately, COVID kind of interrupted itself, but I do want to go on record that I would love to have a discount policy that is council-wide. And I'd like for you to take a look, document your discount policies, So we can gather all that data at the end of next year, take a look and see if we can come up with a consistent discount policy for all of our camps across our council. Risk management plans, this should be a whole subject matter of its own, but we are gonna work with every one of you camp directors. Those, the first two have hyperlinks on it. It gives you an idea of what a risk management plan looks like, a safety-wise questionnaire that you can refer to. And of course, now we're going to be looking at having a COVID 2021 type of risk management plan that's documented. I would love to know when we talk of risk, we are going to have to put in maybe a fire management or fire plan, but I think it can go into one of the other two. Background checks and member registration, we heard loud and clear. So we can basically state that a lot of these requirements are coming from GSUSA's requirements. Well, let me just say, GSUSA, what we thought were mandated requirements, we have learned they are not mandated. So while our contacts stated they were mandated, we looked into the data and they are best practices. So we can alter from those. When we talk about altering, we're bringing in the term episodic volunteers. We were told all volunteers had to be registered. That is not the case. So any episodic volunteer who's on your site when girls are present, but do not supervise the girls, they don't have to be registered. They do, however, must be background checked. And I'm sure that you could all respect that. Council does pick up the background check fees on that, so it's really no out of pocket. It's just we have to have them listed and they have to go through the process. If they are an episodic volunteer, they have to, and they're engaged with the girls, they have to be supervised at all times by a registered and background check, a Girl Scout adult. So we met you in the middle. I think that will work for everybody. Let me know. We are going to ask that all non-registered adults be provided to the council a listing 4 weeks out. Now, I know because of timing commitments, change of plans, that you're going to have that list change. It's not set in stone, but give us the majority of your volunteers 4 weeks out, and then add to it as the days go by and gets closer and closer to your event. Another area we heard loud and clear was GSUSA's risk management plan. Basically said no daisies are permitted in the fall if they're entering in the fall. Let me just rephrase that. Daisies entering kindergarten in the fall were not allowed with GSUSA's risk management, but it was only a guidance. So we've heard it loud and clear, we're going to allow them. They also, the risk management plan did not allow boys to partake in any co-ed or camp activities. We're going to split this in the middle and say for boys in kinder and older, you have to have a separate older boy unit, tot lot, whatever you want to call it. They go on to that side, girls stay over here. Supervision has to be separated, unrelated adults, one of whom must be female at all times and covered by that supplemental insurance policy. We're fine, right? You do need to disclose it on your camp intent form so we can provide you support on that backside. Financial assistance, right now the current budget for the 2020-21 is $25,000. It was not a use it or lose it, so it's reset. Girls are only allowed to request financial assistance for one program activity each membership year. That's one thing. The scale is sliding. All girls do have to pay a portion of registration. Some of it can be very minimal. Some can be up to 50%, but they do have a payment in that. Question is, and I guess I know the answer. I do know some camps provide also scholarship funding. What we need from you is we need to understand how you're selecting those people. There have been some complaints from the membership that says that we don't have process. We need to make sure that you have a quick question and answer check sheet that you sit with a couple of people that you go through and you award scholarships to, that it's even, that it's fair to all those concerned that are in the girls. Okay. Also notify Marina who is the camp program manager of all any financial awards. So we can document it on our side and your side. Okay. Money earning guidelines. Because camps, we do allow you to go raise your own funds. You do have to abide by the money earning guidelines. So we're going to go just touch on them ever so slightly. Service units and camps, and this is residential camp, day camps, Kaleidoscope, any of those type of camps. They are you can recruit up to $1,000 and you keep it 100% as yours. However, because the council carries the 501c3 designation, it does need to come to us, and then we will slingshot it right back out to you. Okay, but the donor will get the letter thanking them. It'll the tax letter will be issued again at the end of the year, but we're the agent that has to receive those funds. And like I said, just as long as they're clear and it lets us know it's going back to what camp, we will send that money out as soon as we can. Now, I'm not going to read this real quick. You can receive additional. There's no problem. And this is new as of last year also. A donor comes in and gives you $5,000. The camp will immediately take the first $1,000 off of the top, so you get the $1,000, at least $4,000. The committee came up and said we agree to allow them to have 50% additional, which if it's $5,000, you take the first $1,000 off, at least $4,000. 50% of the $4,000 is $2,000. So you get the $2,000 plus the original $1,000. Camp walks away with $3,000. The council goes into, we receive it. It goes into our scholarship fund for $2,000 to provide girls' dues, program, and uniforms financial support. Okay, that is significantly different than where it was 2 years ago at the $250. Again, council must be the recipient of the original check. Hopefully the donor has clearly disclosed where the other funds go, and we will pass it through right over to you. Budget plan and post-COVID. I put post-COVID in there because I think it's going to be very difficult to try and forecast this year. But I will say, I do know day camps are running right now. It's September. I do know that they're full with waiting lists. I know my forecast next year is camps are going to be at capacity. Kids want to get back to doing what they love, and that is to get outdoors. I don't think we're going to have a problem getting girls to the camps. I think we're going to have a problem with the waiting list. So we'll see what that goes through. Registration will be done in double knot like we have. We will not allow any secondary or third-party softwares other than double knot. Council will absorb all credit card processing fees. And you've got the dates of financial release. No trading posts at camp. If you have a large group, and I would say if you're trying to sell product as a revenue generation, not a problem. Put it on double knot. Let the kids pick their goods out, and we can get that over to you at the time of camp has started. We don't want these trading posts happening because we weren't paying for the sales tax. We weren't transferring that data from the trading post up to council, and we did have some sales tax implications. So that's why we said no trading posts. If you're insistent about that, set up and make sure we can staff you or help staff that event and make sure the accounting and the sales tax is being paid. Registration, we briefly spoke to you about registration. Double Knot will handle all registration and take payments. I think we've gotten this a little bit tighter down with regards to purchasing and renewing membership. Cognito will hold the bulk of the camp forms, and I will go through. There are laws that prevent or that require us to handle personal information type. There's also another proposed legislation on the ballot this October, coming this year, that increases more requirements for how to handle personal data. Gone are the days of paper forms. They're gone, guys. They're just gone. So let me tell you how that's going to work. We will download all this information on company computers for you. We will give you the computers. That way we don't have any issue with Wi-Fi. The actual data will be on the hard drive of each computer. If you need 8 computers, just let us know. You can test them. You can have them weeks before and then bring them back to us. We'll update. We could probably even log in and update those computer pieces. But you're going to end up with computers that are password protected. And then we just need to make sure you maintain those computers in your possession at all times, okay? But with regards to HIPAA laws and consumer privacy laws, like I said, gone are the days of paper forms. They will not occur. Recruitment tools, we're here to help, right? We're here to help change the girl's life, and we know that their lives get changed when they go to camp. So please, on the day camp intent form, we are going to help you out with marketing unless you tell us not to, which I hope you don't, but we're here to help. We can actually help direct market to an age group by a personality of a consumer to a non-Girl Scout. What we have access to is just staggering now with GSUSA support. So please reach out and let's get this on our docket well in advance so we can support you. Marketing and branding guidelines, I'm not going to go through this, but Girl Scouts is an iconic brand. It's a national brand. We protect it with every part of our being. Where we get into trouble is by crossing over, and I would say the majority of our trouble is using any type of Disney-themed crossovers. And they have happened in this council. We got lucky on one that they didn't come and confiscate all of the apparel and everything that we had. But guys, all I can say is please, please, please submit your possible theme to our marketing group. Katie and her team are absolutely phenomenal. They will take a look at your logo and possibly your shirts and your paraphernalia. Make sure the theme does not have any cross branding that may end up getting us a cease and desist order from Disney or another secondary company. So please send it over to her. Again, here's a brand cheat sheet. It's a hyperlink. You can use it. How to reference Girl Scouting name. We can't cut it short. Photos. We love taking photos of girls, especially if they're in action. We're asking that you make sure you get permission from the girls, the volunteers, and their guests to use any photos. You may think it's innocent, but somebody may not. So here are the girl publicity release forms and the adult publicity release form hyperlinks. Please, please, please make sure you grab a form, get them to approve the release, or don't share that photo, as innocent as it may be. This is a download form. You'll get this here. All you have to do is click on the icon, right, save it, save picture as, and you'll have the true current to date fonts. Whatever you do, don't use the, don't make a nice caricature out of our trefoil, please. That is a branding no-no, and you can quickly see that is going on here. These are all hyperlinks, things to remember. Can we do that to the service market? If you're questioning, probably the answer is no. Girl Scout fonts, please use them. We can share them with you. Are we using Girl Scout colors? There are colors, Pantone colors. You need to use them. Art on brand, official art, all those things. Please, please reach out to media and they can support you. Social media, always use the Girl Scout Promise and Law when posting to social media. Hide negative comments. Don't engage. There's enough people who don't like what some simple statement is. Just delete the comment and move on. Keep the Girl Scout Promise and Law in mind. Crisis communication plan. With COVID brings in a new type of a crisis, right? But really we can talk about environmental disasters, the fires that are creeping up every year throughout our council, and then potential flooding that follows as a result of it are all considered crisis. When the crisis occurs, we need to launch the communication plan. And really, it comes down as simple as this. The camp director should establish the on-site communication. You're it. Let everybody take care of those girls on that site, first and foremost. 911 should be the first call. I should be the second. And then I will communicate my entire team to communicate to the parents of everybody that's on there. We'll work directly with law enforcement or first responders and also media, because they'll creep in very quickly. But that type of communication should come from my office, and you need to take care of the girls. The girls and the people on that site is utmost safety. So we will take that piece of the pie away, and you focus on the girls and volunteer safety. Here are the numbers. We ask that if during and after a crisis should occur, that you do not speak to the press. Let us be the voice, so we're all speaking in one voice. I will keep you in contact. Here's my number. My office number goes straight to my cell. Put it on your cell phone, and I will always answer it if I'm available to. Like I said, this year, we're actually going to be helping create some crisis communication plans and also some disaster plans. I want to go through supplemental and our insurance coverage. Anytime a girl or an adult register for Girl Scouts, they carry supplemental insurance really quick, and it's for injury protection. I would say if you're thinking that an activity is high risk, you might want to take a look and go ahead and include it. I know ice skating is not, or roller skating is not a high risk activity. I don't believe it was. I know it's probably being looked at to be changed because most of our injuries has resulted in those two type of sports. So I do know if it's not updated soon, I'm sure it will be. One thing I do is I will take a look and approve marksmanship activities, okay? I know that there's been a lot of conversation. I do allow it as long as it's safe and you have a certified range officer on site, I would allow it. Knife and tomahawk throwing are not considered suitable for day camp. That's an American Camp Association request, not mandated. Therefore, if you're interested in having one and it's going to be a safe environment, you would just ask for my permission and I'll have you sign a form. But I do believe in both. As a matter of fact, we are building out a full archery, BB gun, knife and tomahawk throwing at Camp Arnez, and we're training everybody to have enough range officers, but in all certifications, to be on that site. So I'm a big supporter. Girls want it. We'll get there, but it has to be safe and you have to have the right accredited people. Speaking of accreditation, ACA, American Camp Association, Camp Arnez received their accreditation last year, and that basically covers all of the documentation, the communication plans, the safety review, the site review, to run up one of what they consider as a very safe and enjoyable camp experience. I would encourage everybody, all of the managers, all people who are responsible for the camp, to consider talking to us and letting us certify one of your leadership team per camp. It would be lovely to have every camp in our area ACA accredited, at least for the day camp experience, but at least, like I said, have all of the documentation in place. The acacamps.org is their main page. The secondary link I have here under new ACA is their link for all things COVID. And we will be working more on that together with you. Now, the last piece I want to do is, first off and foremost, I should have started it, is to thank you for everything that you do to bring camping and the outdoors to girls. I do know that camps change the lives of a girl and it impacts her in so many ways. So we are here as council to support your success. Let us know how we can support you. If you have any issues with these guidelines, please just shoot us an email. We'll get the MCC to take a look at it. If you have language for us to possibly start taking a look at, refer to another camp, whether it be one of our competitors or our fellow nonprofits or another Girl Scout camp, not a problem. Just go ahead and send it to us. It does take time to implement those changes, because I can't change these things as a fly. There's actually a governance process to this, since it's being approved by the board of directors and the MCC. So let us know. I'm Tammy Helmuth, CEO. Sharon is not on this training session with me, but that's her contact number. Thank you again for all you do, and look forward to seeing you soon. Stay safe.